Hi guys, I'm Megan Graham, and today I'm here to tell you about 5 Tony Robbins tips that changed my life. And when I say changed my life, I mean changed my life. So they helped me to quadruple my income, make my salon on Newbury Street an award-winning salon that people travel to from all over the country, helped me to launch a product that within the first few years has already made over $300,000. And that is with me being the only person that is launching that product. So I'm not talking about a company, I'm talking about a very small product that is making me passive income and also help me to monetize my YouTube. So there have been so many amazing things that I've learned from Tony Robbins, and I just wanted to bring you my 5 amazing tips of things that I learned from Tony Robbins. Tip number 1 is to take action. This seems like the most obvious thing, doesn't it? But how many times have you told someone some great tip, something that could change their life, and they look at you and they're like, yeah, I'll try that. Oh, I'll try to get to that. They're basically telling you they're not going to do it. When people say they're going to try something, it means that they are not going to do it. They're not going to set their mind to it. They're not going to be serious about it. So taking action is the biggest thing. A lot of people will compare themselves to someone very successful and they'll say, why is that person so successful? You know, they make over $2 million. They have all of these homes. They do all of these things and they're not even that smart, or they're not even that fill in the blank, whatever it is. Do you know what they are? They're someone that takes action. So they are not just sitting back and waiting for life to happen to them. They decide on something and they take action to reach their goal. So the biggest thing for me in all of my different business ventures is that I'm not just sitting on the couch and waiting for things to happen to me, because that is not how your business grows. You have to take risks, you have to take action, and you have to pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. And you have to know that sometimes when you take action, some of the things you try are not going to work. So the most successful people try things over and over again, and they continue to take action until they find the thing that works for them. If you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would also love to hear if you've ever thought about going to a Tony Robbins seminar before. I really enjoyed it, but I also enjoy listening to his things on his Breakthrough app. So for me, I can learn while I'm doing things at home and I still get a lot out of it. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below. And I'm also going to be including a few links in the description so you can see some different ways that you can learn from Tony Robbins. Number 2, and this is a huge one, guys, you have to set goals. And setting goals doesn't just mean thinking about what you want. So you have to write down exactly what you want. What does it look like? Is there something that you want to buy? Is there a trip you want to take? Do you need to make a certain amount of money? You need to be very, very specific so that you can break that goal down and figure out exactly how you're going to get to it. The difference between people that write down their goals and people that don't is massive. So I always have my top 4 goals with me in my purse, wherever I go. And if I have a problem that I need to solve, a decision that I need to make, I'm going to reference those goals, because every single decision that you make is going to impact those goals. So you've got to write down your goals. And if you say that you don't have time to write down your goals, you don't have time to be successful, and you might as well just give up now. Number 3 is ask a better question. So successful people know how to ask better questions. If you really think about it, the question that you ask is going to determine how you frame your life. So do you know those people that say things like, why do things like this always happen to me? Guess what? Bad things are always going to happen to you if you look for them, but maybe you could say something like, what makes me the kind of person that regardless of the challenges that I face, I always come out on top? Isn't that a different kind of question? Aren't you going to have a different result if you're framing it that way? So the questions that you ask are going to really impact your focus. They're going to decide how you feel. So it's really, really important that you ask good questions, and you ask questions that are going to lead to success instead of dead-end questions that are only going to make you feel bad about yourself. Number 4 is a huge one. Number 4 is the importance of making decisions. Now, the importance of making decisions also is going to tie in with your goals. So, I'm just going to tell you a really quick story, and that is how I finally wound up married to the man of my dreams, and that is my husband, Jeff. So, years ago when I was dating, I really dated without a clear intention. I didn't think about exactly what I wanted, and I kept getting what I didn't want. So finally, when I eventually decided to write down my goals, I wrote down my goal, and my goal was to get married and to be a family with someone. And I remember specifically saying that I did not need to have a family with that person, but I wanted to be a family with the person that I was married to. I wanted to make decisions with that person and just feel loved unconditionally and have all of those things. So I wrote that down in my purse and I carried it with me. And at the time, I was in a relationship, but it actually helped me to end the relationship because I realized that that person was not a team with me and things were never going to go anywhere. And so I had that goal written down in my purse, and it was really funny. I'm not good at breaking up with people, so did I break up with him? No. He broke up with me and tried to call me about 5 days later. And I opened up my piece of paper and I said, okay, should I return this phone call? And I looked at my goal that I wanted to be a family with someone. And I realized that if I called this person, I would never be a family with him. So I was only getting further away from my goal. So that little piece of paper was the reason that I never answered him. And this might seem so small to you, but as someone that was really unsuccessful in relationships for a long time, that made a huge difference with me. And as I started dating, I kept looking at that piece of paper, and I was really able to decide whether I wanted to go on another date with someone, what I wanted to do, because I knew what my ultimate goal was. And I didn't go on every first date and say, do you want to be a family with me? Like that probably wasn't going to go well either. But it really let me know that if I knew I was in something that was going nowhere, I was only wasting time and I wasn't getting closer to my goal. So it's really important not only to have the goal, but to make decisions based on the goal and to realize that the decisions that you make don't only impact today, it is the cumulative decisions that you make that will decide where you wind up in your life. Number 5 is focus. And what Tony Robbins always says is that where focus goes, energy flows. So again, if you're constantly focusing on what you don't want, on why you're not getting what you want, on how people let you down, you're going to be caught up in a vicious cycle, and you're not even going to have the energy to do what you need to do. So for me, I focus on my goals. I look at those goals every single morning. I think about what I want. I imagine what I want. I see my life as it's going to be when I get what I want. And a classic example of that is the home that I'm sitting in. A few years ago, when Jeff and I were looking at homes, we were looking and we weren't really finding anything that we could either afford or was healthy for me. And we started to get really down about it. But I finally just decided that I was just going to focus on what I wanted, and I wasn't going to focus on whether I could afford it or not. I just pictured exactly what I wanted. So we came to look at this place that I'm sitting in now, and it was well out of our price range, but I just decided, okay, I'm not really going to think about that. I'm going to make an offer for what we can offer, and I believe that I'm going to get it. So they did not take the offer. They said no, they rejected it, but I kept working and assuming that I was going to get that place. So I worked my very hardest. I got ready for it. I did everything I needed to do to be able to qualify for a mortgage. And keep in mind, this was during all of the shutdowns, and my business was shut down during the shutdowns. So I was packaging up orders, I was growing my website, and I was doing what I needed to do. And I was focused on the fact that I was going to find a home. So I refused to focus on the fact that things weren't falling into place. And I focused and believed and took action that the right thing was going to happen. And we made the same offer as soon as I went back after all of the shutdowns. And sure enough, they accepted the offer. We got our place. It was incredibly difficult getting a mortgage as a self-employed person after all of that stuff happening. but I did not give up and I made it happen. So these are my 5 biggest tips that I can give you that I've learned from Tony Robbins. I use them again and again. I use them to grow my businesses. I use them to set goals and meet them. I became a WBFF fitness pro at the age of 40. I went on stage with women that were probably 18 to 25 years old, and I did extremely well in my class because I put my focus into winning. I put my focus into being my best self, and I wasn't looking to take away anybody else's success or dim anyone else's success, but I just knew that I could be my very best, and I refused to believe that I was too old to do what I wanted to do. So always know that you're the one that determines your focus. You're the one that decides what you're going to get, and you're the one that decides that you can't do something. You are the only person standing in the way of your success. So don't stand in your way. Make it easy for yourself. So take action, set goals, ask better questions. Make great decisions based on your goals and focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Guys, it was so fun talking to you today. If you enjoyed this video, please comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be including some helpful links for you as well, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thanks so much for listening.